Whiskey Mike 6 Papa, WM6P. Good morning, Clark.
K3EKH, K3TZJ. Signals are fairly good, about 920 meters located there. K3TZJ, K3KH.
I heard W6MP in there also. We'll see if the net goes off today or not. Looks like it might be good so far. At least it doesn't seem to be an AM on the channel. Over.
Yeah, the noise is a little bit more here than it was on 7087, but you're doing well into here. So anyway, let's hope we have a net. I didn't hear anything else in here yet so far on either antennas or either rigs. We've got 3 receivers running on 3 different antennas. So you're the best on this one, for the vertical. K3KH, K3TZJ.
K3TZJ, K3KH. You're running the 5022 today? Over.
No, I'm on the 106 right now. I was on the 350K on the RIDI and just fired up the 106. But I'm receiving on the 5022, but not transmitting.
Okay. I'm on my 5020. Alright, we'll stand by and wait and see if the net goes off here. K3TZJ, K3KH.
Yeah,
we'll be standing by for the MMRCG net. Over. K4NYW. K3EKH, K3KH, EKH, K4NYW. Ray, can you copy? K4NYW, K3KH, yeah, you're plus 20 here. Strong signal. Ron was in there earlier. I know he should be able to copy. I think we're all standing by waiting to see if the net goes off here this morning. Whiskey Foxtrot 2 uniform was also in there too. Heard him underneath. There's a few of us around. Let's see what happens. K4NYW, K3KH, over.
Roger that, Ray. Also heard Paul. He was in there too. Yeah, I'll stand by and see if somebody picks it up.
Whiskey Foxtrot 2 uniform.
What do you think, Clark? Should I go ahead and get it rolling? Over. Okay, I'll go ahead then. This is WM6P, Whiskey Mike 6 Papa, Northwest Georgia, for the Midwest Military Radio Collectors Net. I've got a number of you on the list here. Why don't we run down the list and then we'll pick up new ones. AB5GG, Clark, go ahead, WM6P.
good job using a couple of times. Very nice. Get that hooked up, and it's not pretty bad. Or it was subject to heat at 139 last night. 139.7, 467. There were no significant points, so I'll press back again.
AB5GG, WM6B, fine cars. Yeah, 572s, those are nice tubes. A lot of nice amplifiers use those. 62 degrees, let's see, we've got 69 degrees here, up to about, going up on its way to 80. Very good. Well, I may need a little help on the next call, but I did hear KI0PF. KI0PF, WM6P, go ahead. Okay, KI0PF, WM6B, he said he's one and done. Not too strong here, but thanks for giving us a call. Next on the list here, I've got MYW. MYW, go ahead and give us all your info, over.
Hello, this is Nick, K4NYW, Kilo 4, November, Yankee Whiskey. Nick in Chapel, North Carolina. I'm on the Lazy Mouse rig, RF350 with 1 kW amp, and we had a great rat net this morning, and I'm also one and done, so I need to run. But hello to everybody. Back over to Nick Control, K4NYW.
K4NYW, WM6P, also one and done. Well, thank you so much for checking in. That KW does make a difference. It certainly does. This is Whiskey Mike 6 Papa. My name is Steve, Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo in Northwest Georgia, and I'm running Elecraft gear, full power, with a KPA 1500 amplifier into a very simple inverted V. Next on the list, I've got Whiskey Charlie Juliet, WCJ. Go ahead.
Okay, Steve, real fine. You're the only one I copy. High noise level here. Still have high noise level. I see 735. I see 735. So still have the high noise level, Steve. You're the only one I copy, like I said. So thanks for running the net. WM6P, WB4WCJ, Paul Hardyville, over.
Okay, WB4WCJ, WM6P. Well, sorry to hear about the noise level. That's extremely frustrating, very, very frustrating, and sometimes there's not much you can do about it if it's out of your control. Your audio sounds good. I really like the high frequency content, makes it easy to copy. Next on the list, WF2U. You had a whopping signal. I'll bet you're running some power today. This is WM6P, over.
Mike Echo India Romeo, located in near Landrum, South Carolina. The north part of the state, North Carolina state line, and run RF350 with the RF500 watt amplifier. And the antenna is an 8-meter wave, about 50 feet, and it's resonating around this frequency on 40. So our 5 and 9 plus get to read up to speed, but it's a very strong force, 25 and 8. Here, KI0PF, Nick 59 plus 10, and Paul 5 and 9. WM6P, this is WF2U.
WF2U, WM6P. Yeah, you're 5'9" and a bit, so very nice, and your audio is just excellent. Really makes it easy to understand. Okay, let's stand by for any other check-ins. Who else would like to join us? Come now.
KA3EKH, Kilo Alpha 3 Echo Kilo Hotel.
Okay, I got, I think there are 3 of you in there. Oscar Sierra Sierra, stand by. Station ending hotel, go ahead, over.
Kilo Alpha 3 Echo Kilo Hotel KA3EKH.
Got it, KA3EKH. Go ahead and give us your info, and how are you today, over?
Whiskey Mike 6 Papa. It's KA3EK and MMRCG net. This is KA3EKH. Info, name here is Ray Romeo Alpha Yankee, and located right outside of Salisbury, Maryland. And I am running a Harris RF 5020 at about 100 watts today. So that's the story here. Turn it back over to net control, WM6P and the MMRCG net. This is KA3EKH, over.
KA3EKH, WM6P, got it, running 100 watts. Well, thanks very much for checking in. The station, Oscar Sierra Sierra, go ahead.
Good morning, Steve on the net. This is Whiskey 4 Oscar Sierra Sierra, Kim in Piedmont, South Carolina. Running the SEA 635 Marine radio into a 40-meter delta loop. Here's good copy here as usual.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, your audio sounds good. Again, very, very easy to understand. How much power is that? Over?
It runs about 125 watts to 150 watts, somewhere like that. I have never measured it, over.
Okay, well, it's very good. We must have an excellent path because you're very strong here. Easy copy. So there was one other station attempting to sign in. Come now.
G9WT.
I got about 2 or 3 of you in there. KZI, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Steve, and everybody on the net. This is Bill and KZI in the north side of Indianapolis. Very quiet conditions today. Signals are not very strong at all. Steve, you're strong as usual. I'm hearing everybody without any problem because the noise level's so low, but it's been pretty quiet and low signal conditions. I actually heard Mark, and Mark's not very strong. At least he's getting that distance without any problem. I'm using the regular RF 350 station with the 355 amplifier out in the garage and the antenna coupler and the inverted L. Same station. The only thing I've changed is I had a problem with the filter board, and just the nature of the old radios. There's a guy, actually it's a company, Potomac store, who's been on Fleabay for, well, quite a few months, selling different replacement boards. Somehow they got a hold of some new old stock, and I got a brand new filter board for it and put that in, so that actually took care of that problem. So looks like it's pretty easy to fix. I can fix the other one and I'll put it away as a spare. So back to net control in 9 KZI.
In 9 KZI, WM6P. Okay, Bill. You know, it continues to amaze me the way you and others can find these parts for older radios that are no longer being manufactured. There is a talent there, Bill, that you certainly have mastered finding things like that. But I guess if you know the sources, it's not too hard. But I think that's terrific. That's great. Audio sounds just superb. Very, very good. Say again your power output, over.
I'm running the full 500 watts into the inverted L, over.
Got it, 500 watts. Okay. Let's move ahead, and I think there was another station attempting to check in. Please call now.
K9WT.
K9WT, there's a familiar one. Hi, how are you, John? Go ahead.
Yeah, WM6P, K9WT, beautiful signal down here. You're a good 25 dB above the noise level. And we're running the Harris RF 130-02 transmitter, about 11 or 1200 watts, into a 5/8 wave vertical.
with a mess of ground radials, and the receivers, the Harris companion Harris RF-590, and receiving off a shared apex phase loop array. That's the setup here, and let's see other signal reports. K4NYW was loud and clear, probably 20 dB above the noise. WB4WCJ, 15 to 20 dB above the noise, excellent signal. Most of the other stations are significantly lower here. I heard KA3EKH, 100% copy, no problem. WF2U, those two are probably 10, 15 dB over the noise level. Not bad at all, really, for this time of day on 40 meters. And heard K3TZJ in there also. So that's the scoop. Back to you, Steve, WM6P, K9WT.
K9WT, WM6P. Good, John. Gosh, we haven't spoken for a while. Either you or I have been missing from the net now and then. But boy, your transmitter sounds good. The 1200 watts really makes a difference. Yeah, the vertical that you're transmitting on. How is the soil there? Is that pretty good soil? Over.
Oh, it's terrible soil. It doesn't get a whole lot worse, except maybe in the middle of Death Valley. But that's why there's 160 ground radials on this thing that are about 75 feet long. Over.
Well, I guess that creates the ground for you, because it sure does sound good. You've dipped a little bit there, but not too badly. Very, very good. Audio is just excellent. Any other new acquisitions lately, or?
Well, we were up at the Shelby Ham a couple of weeks ago. I think I got an intermittent connection here, and picked up a couple of RT70 AM65 combinations in very nice shape, and a PP109 power supply, the 12-volt power supply for the GRC family FM transceivers. Kind of an unusual thing to find. Got all that stuff really cheap. Some guy just wanted to unload it. He had a number of interesting items, and Walter got a PRC-9 and a free RBA World War II receiver. That's the 15 to 600 KC receiver. Some guy gave it to him. It's actually in quite nice shape. And got a couple leads on some other interesting items which haven't panned out yet, but we'll see how it goes. Over.
K9WT, WM6P, fine. Just clarify one thing for me. I was talking to some other hams, and they said Shelbyville had really declined. I guess the attendance was rather poor, and that the local club had not really stepped up to the plate. Was that your observation? Over.
I would agree that attendance was somewhat attenuated from last year. The reason for it, I have no idea. There was a hurricane rolling up the coast around that time, and in fact we were driving up there in the wake of it, although we experienced no weather problems whatsoever. But you know, around the time of just before the Hamfest began, the hurricane was just off the Carolina coast there, so it could be that some people were discouraged from going because of the hurricane, but it really was no factor at all, and the weather at the Hamfest couldn't have been more perfect.
Okay. Yeah, you did have an intermittent there at the first part of your transmission, just briefly, but you picked up just fine. Okay, this is Whiskey Mike 6 Papa. Any other check-ins? Please call now.
K3TZJ.
Any relays on that?
K3TZJ.
Okay, K3TZJ. Whiskey Mike 6 Papa. Go ahead.
Yeah, Whiskey Mike 6 Papa, K3TZJ. You're not hearing me, I won't hold it. Hearing everybody else quite well, but also you got AK1K is trying to check in, and I'll relay to him if you need to. K3TZJ.
I was able to just barely copy that. Any relays on the other people who are trying to check in there? Over. This is WM6P. I'll stand by for additional check-ins. Call now. Nothing heard. Any relays? Nothing heard. Okay, well, let's go back to the top of the list for round 2. AB5GG, Clark, WM6P. AB5GG, WM6P.
Wonderfully, Steve. I also heard Mark, KI0CF, Bill a little bit, a teeny bit of John, and that's about it. So conditions are definitely up and down and such. Yeah, the Ozark Wireless Society put the part on recording on last week of the ethanol. It was really fun to listen to. It was recorded in North Carolina, I believe. But it looked like it was recorded by an SDR or something like that, so I couldn't tell. So that was kind of interesting. Easy to find. Location, Fayetteville, Arkansas, running about 550 watts for a 572B amplifier. WM6P in the group, Oscar 5, Germany.
AB5GG, WM6P. Fine, Clark. Okay, going down the list. AB4, WCJ. This is WM6P. Over. WB4, WCJ, WM6P.
Phone's got a really high noise level, so it may be a problem.
Yeah, okay. Well, moving down the list, Mayor, WF2U, WM6P.
Roger, WM6P, this is WF2U. Actually, signals are not too bad. You are holding at 20 over 90. Torque is still 508. Let's see. Kim 5829, Ray 5829, little QSC, Bill 99510, little QSC, and John, you're 5 and 9, and K3GZJ, I partially stopped on before, and that's about 5 to 6. So I got maybe 70% what he said, but I have to strain a little bit. And regarding Shelby, it was great to see John and Walter there. And yes, attendance was down. I went back Saturday morning, as usual, every year, and usually when most of the traffic is, and most of the visitors, buyers, sellers, whatnot, and it looked like Sunday afternoon, like everybody already packed and left, or just packing and leaving. But it looked like, like I made a mistake with the date. And I'm surprised because the weather was spectacular. It was one of the best weather weekends for the Shelby Hamfest that I remember. And what else? Oh, by the way, Clark, about the recording from last week from this net is my friend N4LQ from Shelby that did it, and he does the recording on his malachite receiver right from home. It's not, although it's an SDR, but he claims that it's one of the best receivers that he has. So the relatively expensive SDR that on eBay, and it's a malachite, the latest version. He
he's even using it on the local AM net on 80 meters several times a week. He loves that receiver. Anyway, what I didn't get really anything at Shelby. There were a few things that I was looking at, but I really didn't need anything. I didn't find any parts or accessories that I needed, so I just enjoyed sharing with people I know and socializing and walking around. And again, the weather was just enjoyable. This morning we had 61 degrees, and it felt like a little bit of a fall coming. Some of the leaves started to turn, actually. All in all, the summer here, at least, was not really too bad. We did have very few days that were much over 90 degrees. I mean, it was really not bad at all. And now we're getting the mornings get really down, and need a light shirt to go out in the morning, so it's not bad. But we are at the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, so we are at some elevation, and we get a lot of nice cool breeze there off the mountain. So that's the story here. With that, it goes to Kim. K4OSS. Oh no, it goes to Ray, sorry. No, it goes to Net Control. WM6P. This is WFP.
Very good, Mayor. Glad you had a good time in Shelbyville. I had an outstanding time in Huntsville. I had, because of COVID, I'd missed it a couple of years, and I went, and it was just delightful. In Huntsville, the whole boneyard is all indoors. There's no outdoor activity, so just the casual vendors are in a big hall, which is the same room with the professional equipment, or the new equipment. So great time there. Okay, let's send it over to Ray in Maryland. KA3EKH. This is WM6P. Over.
Whiskey Mike 6 Papa and the Midwest Military Radio Collectors Group Net. This is Kilo Alpha 3 Echo Kilo Hotel. Not much else to add. The weather here is very nice. Sun shining in the 70s. Beautiful day today. No hurricane. Looking forward to the get-together this next weekend at Gilbert. We'll be attempting to check into the net at that time, running the 106 as mobile, so we'll see how that goes. Also want to mention that on Friday we're going to be having a big field exercise on 60 meters, 53-57. Starts at about 2 o'clock local time there. And although we like want to backpack and low power stations, kind of want other people from their home stations to check in too. So if you're around Friday at 2 o'clock, try 60 meters and see how well that works out. So nothing else to add beyond that. Thanks for running the net today. Did want to say that over here in the east, northeast, was hearing all of the local stations, K3TZJ, K4NYW, and the like, very strong. Also, KK1K was in there, but I just don't think you were calling or copying him down south, but he was in there, but I think he kind of left by now, so that's where that is. So thanks for running the net. Whiskey Mike 6 Papa and the MMRCG net. This is KA3EKH, over.
KA3EKH, WM6P. Well, I hope your exercise goes well, and hope you have a pleasant weather for that. Well, here we are. It's going to be fall in another week. My wife just pointed that out, and we have the trees here just showing a hint of change of color. It's just the bare minimum of change. It's just begun. So I guess summer is going to be officially over here in another week or so. Okay, over to a W4OSS, South Carolina. Nice signal today. WM6P, over.
Roger, Steve. WM6P in the net from W4OSS. Wonder if anybody has heard Joe on recently. In regards to the Shelby Hamfest, the weather was outstanding. I was up there on Friday. Did not make it back on Saturday, so I can't comment on the attendance on Saturday. It was a rare occasion. Usually the weather's either burning up hot or it's raining. Nothing in between, generally speaking, but the past one here a couple of weeks ago was great. Temperature was in the 80s and the humidity seemed to be down and it wasn't raining, so it was very nice. Did see John up there and a few others, and it was a very nice event, I thought. I'll probably be going back next year, but then again, the weather will probably be back next year. I don't have anything else. I'm going to go ahead and sign. If anybody has talked to Joe recently, I might make a comment about that. I'll be listening. WM6P from W4OSS.
W4OSS, WM6P. No, I have not heard Joe in quite some time, so I don't know anything about that. Okay, in 9KZI, WM6P.
Yeah, WM6P on 9KZI. Well, we haven't heard Joe on the air, but I guess he's done okay from the reports I've heard. So I think things are status quo with Joe. So that's good to know. But I'm surprised we haven't heard him on the air. I don't know the details as far as why he hasn't been on the air, but he's doing okay. We've had perfect weather around here. I would love to have this kind of weather all year round. Been in the mid to upper 70s almost every day. We've had blue skies. I've had to water the garden a lot, which because we haven't had much rain, it drops down to the upper 50s at night. And the hummingbirds are still here. They're loading up big time on the feeder. I see them on the feeders quite a bit, so they're getting ready to take off as soon as we get some really cold nights. They'll flew the coop, and that'll be the end of it for this year. As far as radio stuff, Hamfest, the Peoria Hamfest is this weekend, I think, and I decided not to go. It really wasn't that big of a deal last year. I got a buddy that lives over there, and I could have gone over to see him, but I just didn't feel like driving over there, and I had other stuff to do. So the next Hamfest big coming up around here is the Fort Wayne Hamfest up north of Indianapolis, about closer to the border of Michigan, and it's a really good Hamfest. It always has been. It's shrunk from what it used to be, but it's still always an excellent Hamfest. And there's a bunch of electronics companies that a lot of people that work in electronics up around Fort Wayne. So good stuff to get in conversation. Funny radio work. I finished up my pre-selector, got that all built, running off an Arduino, and it's a 10-tech board that I got off of Freebay, another thing I found. So I got a nice pre-selector now, and then I got a RS-888, and what it is an SDR receiver. I use that with SDR console. It's a really nice radio. They work really good on HF. You can sample them at 128 megabits per second, and you can get up to 64 megacycles of bandwidth out of them. I'm not real thrilled about the VHF range and all that. It's got birdies and stuff, but it's for $151, it's a pretty good deal. So if anybody wants an SDR, really nice radio, they work great. 16-bit. That's a really good radio to get. And then other than that, I fixed up the RF-350, got it back in operation again. And my shared Apex loop antenna project is all finished, and it works great. So I'm done with that. There's not much more. I'm going to play around with different preamps, but I think it's a really good antenna. That's what John's got, and I think he's going to put up another one. So back to net control, and thanks for running that in 9KZI.
In 9KZI, WM6P. 59 plus, and your audio looks great on the scope, on the waterfall. Zero opposite sideband. I really like that. It's nice to see some really tight, clean, sharp edge signals. Clearly, good radio. Okay, quickly here, I'm going to stand by. Any other check-ins before we go to John? Any other check-ins? Call now. Nothing heard. K9WT, WM6P.
WM6P, K9WT. Still,
I think your intermittent is still with you there, John. Over.
Yeah, I've got to look into that. I think I know what it is. It's in the exciter too, by the way. Your signal is still blasting in down here, and although band conditions are steadily degrading as the sun gets higher, I listened to the solar report on WWV at 18 after, and the solar flux is 139 with a index of 7, and apparently somewhat disturbed geomagnetic conditions predicted with G1 levels and radio blackouts probably to occur also, which did occur over the last day too. So conditions are a little bit disturbed right now, but seem pretty typical for 40 this time of year at this time of day. And yeah, Shelby was a good time, and although I do agree that the attendance was down a little bit, I would hasten to point out that even then, it's far better than most Hamfest. It's still a great Hamfest by any standard, and there tends to be a little more of the kind of stuff that we're interested in there. And got to see all the usual suspects, W4OSS, WF2U, KM4V, K4IC was there, and K4HV, Walter. So a good time was had by all. Let's see, regarding Joe, I haven't talked to him for a while. I talked to him on the phone about a month ago, and of course we all saw him at Dayton, but haven't talked to him recently, although I think KI0PF might have talked to him more recently. So enough of my yakking. Back up to you, Steve, WM6P, K9WT.
K9WT, WM6P. Yeah, at Huntsville, I did not see any useful military equipment whatsoever. I may have missed something, but as far as used equipment, was typically kind of high-end pre-DSP transceivers. That the ones that cost many thousands of dollars, but it was all pre-DSP for the most part, and of course they don't demand any kind of a price these days, and frankly, for a couple $100 more, you can buy a nice mid-range new piece of equipment that will outperform them. So it's kind of sad to see all that really nice older gear. Fully solid state, the ones that everybody wanted but couldn't afford decades ago. That's about all. And then, of course, the new manufacturers were there and with their new equipment, which was interesting. And, transceivers just continued to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and performance goes up. Let's see if we can copy K3TZJ. K3TZJ, WM6P, over.
Yeah, WM6P, K3TZJ. Nothing more to report here, and I'm hearing everybody quite well, including yourself, but I'm not sure who's heard me. So we'll keep it short, and thanks for being here. And hope to see most of the getting updated K3TZJ will be out.
K3TZJ, WM6P. Pretty weak, but thanks so much for checking in. Hope to see you next week. This concludes the second round, but I will stand by any last-minute check-ins. Call now. Nothing heard. Well, any questions or comments for the net? Nothing heard. Okay, well, I guess we'll shut it down. If any of you wish to make individual calls, I guess this would be the time. Thanks so much for all checking in. I enjoyed it. Signals were not bad. Overall, not too bad. A few weak ones, but in general, low noise here. It was about an S4 noise level, which most of you overrode beautifully. Okay, this is Whiskey Mike 6 Papa, WM6P in Northwest Georgia. We'll see you all next week. WM6P, I'll be standing by and monitoring.
Well, geez, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah, go ahead, Clark.